Let's have a frank conversation. Just you and me. Think about that little pill organizer on your kitchen counter. Do you even remember the day you decided to add vitamin D3 or that magnesium tablet to your daily routine? We do these things for our health, trusting that we're on the right path. It's a belief we all share, isn't it? But here's the one question that nobody ever seems to answer. When exactly are you supposed to stop? What if I told you that this simple daily habit, this act of self-care, could slowly, silently become an unseen burden on your body? As a doctor who has spent over 30 years caring for people in their golden years, I can tell you that the common belief that natural is always safe is one of the most dangerous misconceptions I encounter. I'm not just talking about theory. I'm thinking of a patient of mine, let's call him John. A wonderful man, 72 years old, who came to me feeling utterly exhausted. He was doing everything right, taking his vitamins, eating well. But he felt worse than ever. His stomach was always upset, and he just chalked it up to getting older. He had no idea the answer was sitting right there in his pill organizer. Today, we are going to clear up all the confusion. I'm here to arm you with knowledge. I'll walk you through exactly which supplements need a break, which ones you shouldn't stop, and how to listen to your body's own wisdom. It's simpler than you think. Everything we discuss is grounded in solid medical research and, more importantly, in real-world experience from helping hundreds of patients just like you. And please, make sure you stay with me until the very end. Because the last warning sign we'll discuss is the one most people ignore. Understanding it could be the most important health decision you make this year. It might just change everything. Before we dive in, I truly want to know how many of you this resonates with. If the story about John feels even a little bit familiar, please take a moment to comment a simple yes below. It helps me understand what you're going through, and it shows others in our community that they are not alone. Okay, let's get started. Alright, let's begin with our first supplement, the one I like to call the silent hero of our later years. Section number 1. Vitamin K2, the unsung guardian. Let's start with the vitamin that few people even knew existed a decade ago, but is incredibly important for our heart and bone health as we age. Vitamin K2. It's not as famous as vitamin D or calcium, but in my experience, it's one of the most critical pieces of the puzzle for healthy aging. So what does it actually do? Well, the simplest way to explain it is to think of vitamin K2 as a traffic cop, a very intelligent traffic cop inside your body. Its main job, its entire purpose, is to direct calcium. When you take calcium or vitamin D, K2 is the one that tells calcium where to go. It shouts, "All right, calcium, you belong over here, in the bones and teeth. Make them strong." And just as importantly, it puts up a barrier and says, "And you absolutely do not belong over here, in the arteries or the kidneys." Now, here is the core reason why this becomes so vital as we get older. After 60, our bodies are in a constant battle with calcium. We need it for our bones, but it has a nasty habit of ending up in the wrong places, leading to hardened arteries, which is a major risk factor for heart problems. The lack of this crucial traffic cop is what allows this dangerous misplacement to happen, silently, year after year. You don't feel it happening. There are no daily symptoms. It's a slow, creeping process, a hardening from within that contributes to that stiffness and fragility we associate with aging. I had a patient, a lovely woman named Carol, who was so diligent. She took her calcium and her vitamin D every single day for years, thinking she was doing everything right for her osteoporosis. Yet, her bone scans weren't improving much, and her blood pressure was creeping up. She was frustrated. She felt like her body was failing her. The problem wasn't what she was taking, it was what she was missing. She had all the construction materials, the calcium, but none of the foreman on the job site to direct the work. That foreman was vitamin K2. Now, this isn't just a theory. There's powerful, real-world evidence. Researchers looked at Japan, where they noticed something remarkable. A certain group of older adults who regularly eat a traditional food called natto, which is made from fermented soybeans and is incredibly rich in K2, had significantly more flexible arteries and much stronger bones compared to people our age here in the United States. It was a clear, night and day difference. Think of your arteries like clean, flexible pipes in your home. Without K2, Calcium is like rust or mineral scale, slowly building up, year after year, unseen, making those pipes stiff and brittle. So, this brings us to the most important question. Do you need to cycle vitamin K2? Do you need to take a break from it? Here's the good news. The answer is no. You don't. With the standard, safe doses of around 90 to 200 micrograms a day, vitamin K2 is remarkably safe for long-term, continuous use. There is virtually no research showing it causes toxicity. Now, you can get some K2 from food. It's found in things like certain aged cheeses, egg yolks from pasture-raised chickens, and grass-fed butter. But honestly, the amounts are small, and it's very difficult to get enough from the modern American diet to make a real therapeutic difference. This is one of those cases where a smart supplement is often necessary. So, the constructive action here is to ensure you are getting enough of this vital nutrient, especially if you are taking vitamin D3, as they work together as a power couple. But, and this is extremely important, there is one non-negotiable rule. A critical warning. If you are taking any kind of prescription blood thinner, like warfarin or Coumadin, you must speak with your doctor before you even consider adding a vitamin K2 supplement. It can interfere with how those medications work. This is a conversation for you and your physician, period. For everyone else, it's one of the safest and most beneficial supplements you can take to guard your future health. Now, let's move on to the second supplement we're discussing today. Section number 2. Magnesium, the essential companion. Next up is a mineral that statistics show nearly half of us are deficient in, and surprisingly, this is one you likely shouldn't stop taking. That's magnesium. While K2 is the silent guardian, magnesium is the master handyman of the body, involved in over 300 different jobs every single day. To put it simply, think of your body like a classic car that you want to keep running smoothly for years to come. Magnesium is the oil. It doesn't necessarily make the car go, but without it, every single part of the engine is under stress, and eventually, everything grinds to a painful, shuddering halt. It's responsible for everything from creating energy to relaxing our muscles to transmitting signals in our nerves, and even helping us fall into a deep, restorative sleep. Now, here is the core reason this becomes so critically important after the age of 60. Our need for magnesium doesn't go down, but our ability to get it and absorb it does. There are a few reasons for this. First, our soil just isn't what it used to be, so the vegetables we eat have less magnesium than they did 50 years ago. Second, many common medications can deplete our body's magnesium stores. And third, our digestive systems, well, they get a little less efficient at absorbing nutrients from our food as the years go by. It's a perfect storm for a deficiency that slowly builds over time. And what are the signs of this deficiency? They are some of the most common complaints I hear from my patients every single day. Do you ever get those vicious, searing leg cramps that jolt you awake in the middle of the night? That's a classic sign. Do you find yourself tossing and turning, unable to quiet your mind and fall into a deep sleep? Do you feel your heart pounding or fluttering in your chest for no apparent reason, or a sense of nagging anxiety that you just can't shake? These aren't just random symptoms of getting older. They are often your body's desperate cries for more magnesium. I remember a patient of mine, a gentleman named Robert, a retired schoolteacher. He came to me suffering from all of the above. Terrible sleep, nightly leg cramps, and a constant, low-level anxiety. We started him on a good form of magnesium, and within a few weeks, he was like a new man. He was sleeping through the night for the first time in years. The cramps vanished. He felt calm. Then, after about 6 months, he read an article online about taking breaks from supplements and decided to stop. He told me later it was a mistake he'd never repeat. Within a week, the restless nights returned. After 2 weeks, the crushing fatigue crept back in, and one night, a leg cramp so painful it made him cry out woke both him and his wife. That's when he realized his body wasn't just enjoying the magnesium. It truly needed it to function. Robert's experience isn't just an anecdote. It's backed by solid science. Magnesium is what we call water-soluble. Unlike vitamin D, which is fat-soluble and gets stored in your body, any excess magnesium you take is simply flushed out by your kidneys every single day. Your body doesn't build up a reserve. This is why a daily intake is so essential. Research published in journals like Magnesium Research and Nutrients confirms that for people with healthy kidneys, daily magnesium supplementation is extremely safe. These studies also show that choosing the right form is key. Forms like magnesium glycinate or malate are gentle and well absorbed, unlike the cheap magnesium oxide form, which is notorious for causing an upset stomach and is poorly absorbed by the body. So, the clear solution here is not to cycle magnesium. The constructive action is to adjust. Pay attention to how you feel. Your body is the best guide you have. On days when you're under more stress, or if you've exercised more than usual, you might need a little extra. On other days, a bit less. For most people over 60, a daily dose between 200 and 400 milligrams is the sweet spot. Of course, the best place to start is always your plate. Foods like dark leafy greens, avocados, nuts, seeds, and even dark chocolate are wonderful sources of magnesium. However, for many of us, it's incredibly difficult to get enough from food alone to correct a long-standing deficiency. This is a case where a smart, consistent supplement truly acts as an essential companion to a healthy diet. And that brings me to a question for you. If you have ever been woken up by one of those painful leg cramps in the middle of the night, please, just take a moment and comment with the word sleep below. It will help me see how many of us share this very specific, frustrating experience. We've talked about the Guardian, K2, and the essential companion, magnesium. But now we must discuss the third one. And this requires your full attention. Section number 3. Vitamin D3. A completely different story. But vitamin D3, well, that's a completely different story. This is the one supplement on our list that I see people unknowingly taking too much of, more than any other. It's an easy trap to fall into, because we've all been told, correctly, how vital it is for our immune system, our mood, and especially our bone health. But with D3, more is absolutely not better. In fact, more can be dangerous. To understand why, you need to know the single most important fact about it. Vitamin D3 isn't like vitamin C or magnesium. It doesn't just pass through your system. You see, vitamin D3 acts like a powerful hormone in your body. And here is the most critical part. It is fat-soluble. That means your body doesn't just flush out what it doesn't need each day. No, it stores it. It holds onto it in your fat tissue and in your liver. For weeks, and sometimes even for months. Think of it like this. Taking magnesium is like writing on a whiteboard. At the end of the day, you can wipe it clean. But taking vitamin D3 is like soaking a sponge in oil. It stays there for a long, long time. Now, here is why this becomes so uniquely toxic for us as we get older. Our organs, particularly our liver and our kidneys, have been working hard for us for 60, 70, or 80 years. They're still doing their job, but they don't process things as efficiently as they did when we were 20. When we continuously take high doses of a fat-soluble vitamin like D3, we are not supporting them. We are burdening them. We are asking these loyal, lifelong workers to do overtime every single day, without a break. And what are the symptoms of this overload? This is the truly deceptive part. It doesn't show up as a sudden, dramatic illness. It creeps in. It disguises itself as the very things we often blame on aging. A strange, nagging fatigue that you can't shake, no matter how much you rest. A feeling of nausea or an upset stomach that you blame on something you ate. Brain fog. Even constipation. Because the signs are so subtle, most people never connect them to the little pill they faithfully take every morning. I had a patient, a wonderful woman named Barbara, who was 78. She came to me convinced her health was just failing. She was tired all the time, she felt achy, and just off. She told me, "Doctor, I guess this is just what it feels like to be almost 80. She was taking 5,000 IU of vitamin D3 every day, just like her friend told her to. So I ran a simple blood test. A healthy vitamin D level is typically between 30 and 50 nanograms per milliliter. Barbara's level was over 100. It was sky high. Her body was swimming in it, and her liver was screaming for a break. This isn't just my experience. Solid scientific research backs this up completely. A major study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that vitamin D levels can stay elevated for many, many weeks after a person stops taking the supplement. Another study in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism confirmed that D3 sticks around in the body for a very long time. So, this is where a smart strategy becomes your greatest ally. This is where cycling is not just a good idea, it is an essential one. The corrective action is to stop guessing and start measuring. The most powerful tool you have at your disposal is a simple blood test called a 25-hydroxy-vitamin D test. Ask your doctor for one. It's a routine test that gives you the exact information you need. If your test result comes back and your level is consistently above that 50 nanograms per milliliter sweet spot, it is time to give your body a break. You can pause your supplementation completely for 2 to 4 weeks and then retest. Another wonderful approach is to simply switch to a lower maintenance dose, maybe around 1,000 to 2,000 IU a day instead of 5,000. Or, do what many of my patients do. Take your regular dose, but only every other day. That alone can make a world of difference. The goal is not to stop taking D3 forever. It is to manage it wisely, to use it as a tool, not a crutch. Of course, the best source of vitamin D is, and always will be, sensible sun exposure. Just 15 to 20 minutes of midday sun on your arms and legs a few times a week during the warmer months can do wonders. But for many of us, especially during the winter or in northern climates, that's just not possible. Now, I want to ask you something. If this is the first time you're hearing that your body can store vitamin D for weeks or even months, please, just comment while below. It's okay to be surprised, and it lets me know that this information is truly helpful. So now we understand the unique roles of K2, magnesium, and the powerful vitamin D3. We know the theory. But theory is one thing. Feeling it in our own bodies is another. Section number 4. The 5 warning signs your body is overloaded. So, how do you know? How can you tell if your body is crying out for a break? I need you to listen closely here, because this is the most important part. An overload of supplements doesn't hit you like a tidal wave. It doesn't announce itself with a loud crash. No, it creeps in. It arrives slowly, quietly, through subtle signs that almost all of us mistake for something else. We mistake them for stress. We mistake them for a bad night's sleep. Most of all, we mistake them for just getting older. But what if it isn't just getting older? What if it's your body sending you clear signals that it's had enough? Here are the 5 warning signs I see most often in my practice. The first warning sign is a strange, profound fatigue. Isn't that a paradox? You take your vitamins faithfully, hoping for more energy, more vitality. Yet somehow, the more you take, the more sluggish and drained you feel. It's so easy to explain it away. You think to yourself, well, I've been working hard in the garden, or I didn't sleep well last night. But there's a deeper reason. Your liver is the body's main processing plant. It has to handle every single thing you put into your mouth, including those supplements. When it's forced to work overtime, day after day, without a break, it gets tired. That deep fatigue you're feeling? It might not be your age. It might be your liver, crying for help. Next, warning sign number 2. Your stomach starts to rebel. One day, there's uncomfortable bloating. Next, there's a nagging nausea. Sometimes it's diarrhea, other times it's constipation. You rack your brain, thinking, was it the fish I had for dinner last night? Maybe that milk was a little off. You blame everything but the one constant in your daily routine. Did you know that the cheap magnesium oxide found in many supplements is a notorious cause of diarrhea? Or that too much vitamin D3, as we discussed, is a common cause of constipation? Your body is trying to send you a direct message through your digestive system. But you have to be willing to listen. This brings us to the third warning sign, and this one is the greatest contradiction of all. A disruption in your sleep. So many of us start taking magnesium, hoping to finally get that deep, restful sleep we dream of. And for a while, it works wonderfully. But then, suddenly, here you are, staring at the ceiling at 3 o'clock in the morning, your mind racing. You wonder what happened. Maybe you took your supplement at the wrong time of day. Or, even more likely, Your vitamin D levels have crept up so high that they are actively disrupting your body's natural sleep-wake cycle, your circadian rhythm. The very thing you bought to fix your sleep is now the thing that's breaking it. The next one, number 4, is when your body stops whispering and starts screaming. I'm talking about your heart. It starts doing funny things. Sometimes beating too fast, sometimes too slow. Sometimes you feel a flutter, a skip, or a feeling like it wants to jump right out of your chest. The immediate reaction is fear, followed by the thought, oh, it's just my anxiety, or I'm just under a lot of stress. Please, do not just assume that. It could be a sign that your essential minerals, like magnesium and potassium, are out of balance. It could be a warning that your vitamin D has pushed the calcium level in your blood too high. Or it could be a dangerous interaction with a heart medication you're already taking. Do not ignore this signal. And the final sign, the most subtle but perhaps the most important of all, is that hard-to-describe feeling that something is just off. It's a contradiction you feel deep in your bones. You feel more anxious, despite taking magnesium to calm down. Your joints ache, despite taking vitamin D for your bones. You feel exhausted, despite having a cabinet full of vitamins promising energy. This is your body's own wisdom. It's the sum of all the small imbalances, sounding the alarm before a real problem begins. So what do you do with this information? The solution is not complicated. It does not cost a penny. It's a simple, powerful experiment. I want you to try this. Stop everything for 1 week. Just 1 week. Don't change your diet. Don't change anything else. Just give your body a complete break from all the supplements. And listen. Pay attention to your energy, your digestion, your sleep, your mood. You might be absolutely amazed by the difference. That 1 week of quiet will give you more information than anything else. It puts the power back where it belongs. In your hands. As we bring our conversation to a close, I want you to think back to the very beginning. Remember my patient, John? The wonderful man who felt so utterly exhausted, who thought that constant fatigue and feeling unwell was just his new normal. The warning signs we just discussed, the fatigue, the stomach issues, those were the exact signals his body had been sending him for months. Once we identified that his body was simply overloaded, once he stopped guessing and started listening to its quiet wisdom, the change was truly remarkable. It wasn't a new medication that healed him. It was knowledge. It was awareness. Today, John is thriving, not just surviving. He has his energy back to play with his grandchildren, to work in his garden. He is a perfect example of how the simplest changes, the smallest acts of listening to your own body, can make the biggest difference in the world. And his story brings us to the most important lesson of all today. The one thing I hope you take away from our time together is this. Supplements are powerful tools, but they are not candy. The goal is never to take more, but to take what your body truly needs. Your own body is the wisest doctor you will ever have. As we wrap up, we've covered so much ground, but knowledge is only powerful when we put it into action. So now, I have one important question for you. What is the one small commitment you are making to yourself after watching this video? It could be as simple as, I promise to ask my doctor for a vitamin D test at my next visit. Or maybe, I will try stopping my supplements for just 1 week and just listen. Please share your personal commitment in the comments below. Let's inspire each other to take that first, crucial step. And if you found real value in our conversation today, if you feel more empowered than when you started, show your support by giving this video a simple like. To make sure you don't miss our next conversation, and to continue on this journey with us, please hit that subscribe button. It's more than just a click. It's your way of joining a community of people dedicated to living their golden years with health, dignity, and joy. And finally, think of one person in your life. Just one. A friend, a sibling, a neighbor, who you think needs to hear this message. Please, share this video with them. You never know whose life you might touch with this simple act of caring. Thank you for spending your valuable time with me today. Stay healthy, stay wise, and I'll see you in the next video.